I have 3 books I'm going to cover today. This is White as Frost, Your Corner Dark, and The Antidote. I found all of these books on Scribd. The Antidote I actually have as a audiobook, and the other 2 were actually just ebooks. So these are all labeled as YA books per Scribd. And each one of them actually is kind of its own little genre here. You have White as Frost, which is a fantasy genre book. You have Your Corner Dark, which is your YA contemporary. And Antidote is probably sci-fi horror type of book. Let me cover White as Frost first. So this is the first part of a trilogy of books, of the Darkwood trilogy. It says, 2 sisters, one enchanted forest, and a hidden destiny that could doom them both. Swept away to the castle beside the Darkwood, Rose Varrois finds herself in a world full of secrets and forbidden magic. There she meets her new stepsister, the enigmatic Princess Neve, who will either become her best friend or her worst enemy. When Rose follows her stepsister into the enchanted shadows beneath the trees, she is beset by dangerous creatures and rescued by Thorn, the dark elf guardian of the forest, who binds her to the Darkwood and forbids her to speak of its mysteries. Yet despite the danger surrounding her, Rose continues to risk everything in her quest for answers, until the day she steals into the depths of the forest and discovers the most perilous secret of all. From USA Times bestselling author Anthea Sharp, a fantasy fairy tale weaving elements of Snow White and Rose Red with romance, magic, and dangerous secrets that will destroy a kingdom. Will appeal to fans of Sylvia Mendez, Naomi Novik, Holly Black, and anyone who loves a fairy tale beautiful retold. I think Holly Black is the only actual author here that I've read from. So what did I think of this book? Because that's pretty much why you're here. I think that as a book, it's good. I honestly, I would give it at least maybe a 4-star, 3 or 4 stars. I definitely would want to read more about it. I like the character of Rose. What it doesn't tell you is, I'll give you the basic history here is, it's kind of the whole, stepsister type thing between, one sister meets this other sister when her mother, Rose's mother marries the king. And it starts off, you feel like there's tropes. It starts off, well, okay, here's the evil stepsister kind of thing. And, and you're coming into this magical realm, this royal realm. And you're like, okay, well, what's going on with this? Are they going to play the evil stepsister type of trope? And they don't. They actually kind of shy away from it. Hopefully it doesn't go into that. I have a feeling it seems to... The way the story's going, it might actually even reverse. Like, the actual Rose might not be the safest character here. She might actually wind up becoming a bad person in future books. I don't know yet where it's going, but it was interesting that they kind of set it up as, okay, here's the, this woman comes into this royal house, this royal family, this royal area, and the sister doesn't like her, and she feels out of place, and the sister seems really cruel to her, and it's nice how it kind of changes when Rose finds out about the Darkwood, and how they kind of become almost real sisters in a way. And there's still some animosity there, and there's also the other trope that I'll warn you about, I guess, is with Thorn. Here's the guy that I like, and the sister kind of likes, and the sister's better than me. Again, they don't kind of push that hard, and I like that. One thing I really did like about this book, at least this first book, is even though the tropes were kind of there, they were only like touched on, and they really didn't drive into the trope. If anything, they kind of went around the trope. They kind of like made it so you weren't seeing the tropes. The tropes weren't a part of the story. It kind of like just said, okay, this is a trope, but you think it's going to go this way, but it really doesn't. And I hope they continue that in future books. I think the next book is out this fall. But in general, again, I did like this book. I liked the character. I liked Rose. I liked the sister, Princess Neve. I thought it was very well written. I loved the characters. I loved the Dark Wood. I thought it was really cool. Reminded me almost of kind of Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe type of thing, where you just go through this wardrobe and then you go into this other world, even though it's still, part of the world. And there's a little. It's technically a different world, but again, it was really good. I really did enjoy the book. I really found it just an all-around good fantasy book that I am looking forward to the next chapter of. So that is White as Frost. Next one here I'll talk about is Your Corner Dark. Now, this is the adult contemporary. This is American Streets meets Long Way Down. I loved Long Way Down. That was one of my favorite books I've read in a long time. In this searing and gritty debut novel that takes an unflinching look at the harsh realities of gang life in Jamaica and how far a teen is willing to go for family. Things can change in an instant. The second Frankie Green gets that scholarship letter, he has his ticket out of Jamaica. The second his longtime crush Leah asks him on a date, he's in trouble. The second his father gets shot, suddenly nothing else matters. And the second Frankie joins his uncle gangs in exchange for paying for his father's medical bills, there's no going back. Or is there? As Frankie does things he never thought he'd be capable of, he's forced to confront the truth of the family and future he was born into and the ones he wants to build for himself. I really did enjoy this book. This is probably, out of all three books, I'm going to tell you right now, this is my favorite that I've read, because it gave me a slice of life. I knew nothing about Jamaica. I honestly didn't know much. In fact, reading this story makes me want to learn more about the different political parties and the different gangs and the struggles that it seems like Jamaica has, about the corruption. It was just really, really riveting as far as the story in that respect. And while I could see some things coming, you could kind of see where it was going to go. I did really like the characterizations. I really liked the way they were written. I really felt bad for Frankie in this, because he had a way out. This is a big thing where he had, in the beginning of the thing, he has a scholarship. I just read he has a scholarship to get out of Jamaica to make a name for himself in America, and it obviously doesn't go that way. And the character of Leah was really good as well, showing like a different kind of class, almost a Romeo and Juliet kind of deal in a way. Just kind of minor thing there, but it was just, again, it was definitely a powerful, strong story that if anybody who's read Long Way Down, or who's read any kind of books of that nature, I haven't read American Street, so I don't know about that one, but anyone who's read any of these kind of contemporary, any of these YA contemporary books, I think would really enjoy it. And like I said, for me, it was just a cool way of seeing, like, something I didn't know about. I didn't know about life in Jamaica. I didn't know about the gang life in Jamaica. I didn't know about politics. It's a lot about the politics in Jamaica in this book, about two warring political parties. I mean, I thought the Democrats and Republicans are pretty bad. This is pretty vicious, actually, with these two warring parties in Jamaica. It's just an interesting read all the way around. I highly recommend this book. If you pick one book out of these three, I would highly recommend you pick Your Corner Dark. I think you would be, if you like anything kind of contemporary, or anything about gang life, or anything about learning about a different country and learning about their, the problems this country has, I would definitely pick this up. But it is, to me, a great book. So that is Your Corner Dark by Desmond Hall. Next one, and the last one I'm going to talk about, is The Antidote. Let me read the review here. Impressively timely and resonant, a high-stakes and exciting tale of good versus evil, of good versus evil, that thoughtfully reflects on modern maladies. A page-ripping suspense tale of good and evil. Can a curse be a gift? 12-year-old Alex Revelstoke is different. He can see diseases, also injuries, illnesses, and anything else wrong with the body. This comes in handy when a classmate chokes on a hot dog, or when a janitor suffers a heart attack, unclogging a gooey science experiment gone awry. But Alex soon learns his new ability puts him and an unsuspecting world in peril. Throughout time, Revelstokes have waged a battle against ancient evil itself. A man, a being in essence, the creator of disease. Alex has seen its darkness. He has felt its strength. He does not want to fight, but Alex is the last Revelstoke. The war has just begun. With his unique perspective, as a doctor, mother, and writer, McCormick combines her knowledge of medicine and the storytelling skills to craft a one-of-a-kind adventure about disease, darkness, and deception. One readers will not be able to put down. Now, when I first heard about this, I wasn't sure, honestly, if I would like it. I think it was written well. In the end, I would almost classify this as it's kind of sci-fi. I guess it has some horror elements. I guess you would probably say a little bit because of the nature of fighting this one character who the dark character, who is the creator of diseases. And I did like Alex. I love the romance. He has a romance with a character, kind of a romance, I guess, with the character here. And about this family legacy, it's almost kind of like a disease version of a male Buffy, if you want to describe how this character is. I mean, that's kind of how I felt, and the villain here is actually done really well. There were problems with this book, though. So it's one of the reasons I left it as the last one to talk about, because it is so preachy. I mean, to the point where I was almost getting annoyed with it. I mean, yes, great. Yes, fast food is bad. Sugar is bad. It was almost like, well, this is what this evil presence is kind of like, manipulated the world and it's created, make it easier and how we hurt our bodies. And I was just like, enough already. I got it. Yeah, red meat's bad. Okay, great. Yeah. Okay, enough. It just was like so preachy to a point where I was like, stop talking about this, just get to the story. Okay. That really did bother me. That I would probably even take out a point just for that. I know she's a doctor, and I guess she's just trying to help people by giving them knowledge about about diabetes and about the different of our diet and how bad it is for us. But it just definitely comes out as preachy. And one thing I actually was surprised about, I mean, this book came out May 5th of 2021. No mention of COVID. And no, I didn't expect this to be a COVID book. But you got a book about disease, and you have a villain whose main power is that he creates these diseases. The fact that you couldn't even kind of mention COVID here as or even kind of talk about it in the future or at the end of the book or something, kind of bring up that there's this, that there was this COVID thing that possibly this villain could have manipulated. I think it was a lost opportunity. And again, I don't know when this book was was finished or when it was going to be created, but I think that they could have thrown in just a little COVID thing. I think it would have been good instead of just preaching to us about sugary snacks constantly and hard sodas and how much sugar was in them. And instead of being so preachy about fast food and the bad habits that we all have, it would have been nice to throw in a little COVID, so even a little nudge about COVID in here, just because it was about disease. But in general, I still liked it. I still would agree for people to read it. I don't think it's a bad book to read. I wouldn't give it 5 stars, again, because of the fact that it's just a little too preachy, and it does have a little bit of trope going on there. But I still really like the villain. I really like the characters, and I would definitely give this a strong, 3-star. Definitely you should read it. Kind of notion on this book.